At Hawaii, of course.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a good chance you're going to get a lei, which is the necklace that's made up of the flowers, the lei that they put over your head.
When you get off the plane.
And yes, exactly. They don't come from the lei tree, of course, as we mentioned. They come from the Plumaria tree.
That's right. And one local man was so taken by these trees when he first saw them in Hawaii that he decided to bring them to Tampa, and boy, did he bring them. The exotic Plumaria nursery now boasts a huge collection.
For Alan Bunch, Plumaria trees are a labor of love. Also known as frangipani, these trees are famous for their blooms.
Tell me about when this obsession with Plumaria began for you.
Well, it happened in 1989, my first trip to Hawaii. I saw these trees with these beautiful flowers, and I went up there and kind of looked at that unusual, and then I smelled one, and it was over. I had no idea what it was, never seen it before, but that was a life-changing moment for me.
Alan left his job in accounting to start the exotic Plumaria nursery. He travels to Hawaii every year to add to his inventory.
And over the years, I have purchased trees right out of people's yards. And then I go back each year or every other year and take cuttings off of my tree, and yet they still have a tree in their yard.
Nice. So win-win for everyone.
Yeah. I go every January or February, and I typically ship back between 4,000 and 10,000 cuttings each year.
He loves Hawaii so much, Alan turned his yard into the perfect spot for a luau, complete with bamboo, a waterfall, and koi.
I fell in love with Hawaii in '16 from the Blue Hawaii movie.
Oh, I see.
And then that gave me this desire to go to Hawaii. So the real reason for me going to Hawaii was to meet these guys.
Interesting.
And that's what happened. This is called celandine, and it has a very waxy, citrusy scent, very, very pleasant. But the petals are very thick, so it holds up well after it's picked and doesn't turn brown right away, so it's ideal for making the leis.
If you can't find the type of tree you want here, then you've got a long trip ahead of you, because this is the largest collection on the continent.
With rows upon rows of plumarias, picking a plant can be overwhelming.
We don't show everything, because even what we're showing is already so, it's overwhelming for people. So, we just say we'll show them maybe 2 or 3 or 4 pinks and 4 or 5 yellows, but not all of them. When you get the real collectors, people who have really had the bug for a long time and they want to have one of each, or they want to have one of every kind of thing, then we'll show those people.
I could see why people would have a hard time making a decision here. This board has 70 different varieties on it, and this place has over 200 varieties. How will I ever make a decision? Actually, how about I take them all?
Actually, that would be out of my budget. The larger trees are not cheap, and the rarer they are, the pricier they are. Here in Florida, Plumaria only bloom for a few months in the summer, but Alan has one that just won't quit.
This tree has been blooming like this since the 3rd day of April, and for a tree this size, that's insane. I have no idea why, but I'm loving it every minute. This is called Embers. I discovered this back in the early 2000s. And the reason I named it Embers is, I think, pretty obvious.
Yes.
It's a little more expensive than the others because there's a very limited supply. I only own 1 tree in Maui, and I go back and cut it each year or every other year.
One of the best things about Plumaria is they're easy to care for, and Alan says they like being neglected.
I will guarantee you they will give you more back than they expect from you all the time.
Alan, what makes this Plumaria so special?
Well, a number of things. Number 1 is the fragrance. And this particular variety, which is called Singapore, throws its fragrance farther from the tree than any other Plumaria. You smell it.
Oh.
It's the most haunting fragrance that you can imagine.
It's amazing.
People over the years ask me, what's your favorite Plumaria? And I never could tell them. And then I had a dream about 3 years ago, and I went down the list of all the pluses and minuses, and this had no minuses.
How have you been able to keep this business going and growing over the years when a lot of others have come and gone?
I love it. It's a passion. It's not a business. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
But it gives me so much reward when I smell and see, because quite often we'll get customers who's come in here, maybe grew up somewhere where they grew as a child, and they can remember climbing on these, and they come in and start crying because they've not seen one in so long. So it's a thing about people and sharing something of nature and sharing the beauty and the fragrances. It beats the heck out of accounting.
Oh,
So great that he has found his passion, and it's obvious.
That's so sweet.
The place is magical. Again,
And then it smells incredible.
It smells great. Again, it's called the exotic Plumaria, and Rob tells me that bees will probably still go to those because they go for the pollen, not the nectar.
There you go.
Right?
You've been schooled.
I have been schooled.
We'll be right back with more Daytime after this.